Some of you watching may have fallen in love with the Pacers thanks to their battles with the Knicks in the 90s. Others reminisce about the last two seasons, Pacers versus Knicks. Another classic matchup, only this one in February. The stakes maybe not as high, but the intensity every bit as high. Players making big plays down the stretch, and the Pacers, Quentin Jackson and company, pulling out a win, a feel-good performance at Madison Square Garden. You are watching the Andy Moore Automotive Pacers live post-game show, 137-134 in overtime at the Garden. Jeremiah Johnson alongside Eddie Gill. I know this one did not mean as much as many of those playoff games, but it really felt like it was a great, intense atmosphere. Guys making plays, guys having fun, and for all the hard work they put in, they deserve a moment like this.
There's no question about it. You could talk about coming into a hostile environment here against a real contender out east that have an opportunity to get out and contend for a finals championship in the New York Knicks. Pacers do a terrific job of coming out playing aggressive, confident basketball, ready to play. They improved in the second half. Defensively, only give up a 24-point quarter in that third quarter, and really launched themselves into a winning and really competitive position in the latter part of the game.
For the first time all season, the Pacers had at least 30 points in every quarter and then scored the first 9 points in overtime. So offensive execution at a very high level. When you're talking about offensive execution, Pascal Siakam, there were times he found mismatches. There were times he was driving to the basket, scored 30 points. How did he lead the team tonight?
Well, just staying aggressive, and he's got tough defenders on him all night. You see guys like Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Landry Shamet. All these guys are really tough defenders, but he does a great job of just being able to attack angles. You'll see scoring here, but the things that's not going to be pictured is him being able to draw fouls, get himself to the free throw line, and put those guys in tough situations, and also giving the Pacers an opportunity to get into the penalty early in some of those quarters.
You saw that 10th 30-point game of the season. You could tell during that walk-off interview, maybe just a little disappointed individually that he missed a couple of those free throws down the stretch, but feeling good about his team's performance. Jalen Brunson had 40, Karl Anthony Towns 22 before fouling out, and Mikal Bridges with 22. You see Quentin Jackson on the score sheet there. And Eddie, I know this is one of your favorites, to see him get out there and make big plays throughout, get the starting assignment. What was key for Quentin tonight?
Just staying ready. And I can't tell you how difficult that is in the midst of all the things that the Pacers are going through right now. His number's called sometimes. Sometimes he's in street clothes. He's coming off the bench. Sometimes he's a starter. Tonight, he's called upon to be a starter after being in street clothes in the prior two games. But just being ready and keeping the right state of mind is so important and so critical for Quentin Jackson. That's what he's been able to do. Shows that he's been able to go out there and produce at a really high level here for the Pacers.
And last season on a two-way contract, not even eligible to dress for those playoff games. So he was with the team, practicing, maybe going to shoot around, but he was in the second row. And tonight he's starting, as you mentioned, hitting maybe one of the biggest shots in overtime, that three-pointer.
And you see the confidence there, not only just hitting that shot, there's a certain amount of IQ that's required to be able to move to a spot on the floor to make sure you're available for a teammate, as Pascal Siakam is driving to the middle of the floor, draws some help. He finds the soft spot on the perimeter and knocks it down with great confidence.
Pascal said to Q, let it fly. He did, and that helped the Pacers build that lead. The Knicks came rallying back again, but fighting for loose balls. A real fun night at Madison Square Garden. We'll continue to discuss after the break. Times Square, a lot going on in New York. Nice to be here for an extended stay. Pacers taking on the Knicks tonight, the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow, and then a well-deserved break as people will scatter all over the country, maybe all over the continent for the All-Star break. But this is a nice win to get, I'm guessing, that locker room a really nice celebration tonight inside Madison Square Garden. Eddie, what do you think we take a look at the highlights? And going into this, it has a chance to be fun. Pacers taking on the Knicks. These two teams playing each other more over the last 3 seasons than any other two teams in the NBA, with one exception, Pacers and Bucks. And in the first half, you saw high-level offense throughout the first half. I looked down, it's like 52% from the field, 40% from three, and Pascal Siakam had 10 early. Andrew Nembhard as well, getting things going offensively.
Yeah, Nembhard had 9 in that first quarter. Slows down a little bit before getting it going again in the fourth. But ultimately, coming into this game, Knicks a high-powered offense. The Pacers up to this point in the season hasn't been that, but they certainly answered the bell here tonight.
The Knicks led 33-32 after one. That's Siakam basket in the foul. You worry for just a second that he was laying on the ground and then just catching his breath. Did get hit a few times going to the basket. Karl Anthony Towns, the putback. It's Knicks up 68-63 at halftime, but the Pacers proved in that third quarter. They were not going to go away easily. Chris mentioned it throughout. He kept adding up the lead changes. It got to 39, most in the NBA this season. The Pacers crashing the glass. That's the Knicks specialty. How about Kobe Brown? Put back. Pacers up one going to the fourth.
Like what he was able to show in his minutes throughout the night with great work, still trying to get acclimated to the system. Clearly just one game in. That is a huge shot by Nembhard late in this game.
You can tell how much Andrew Nembhard loves this environment, loves playing against the Knicks. Like to see that from Cam Jones. Not a big scoring night from Cam Jones, but that was a big one when the Pacers really needed it. Jalen Brunson going right at Andrew Nembhard. Again, these individual matchups are just so fun to watch.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, outstanding defense, better offense there. But late in that game, I thought Aaron Nesmith had some really good defensive possessions against Brunson to limit his opportunity at the rim.
Nesmith jumper. He knows what it's like to thrive in this building in the fourth quarter. He had 11 points. The jumper then attacking the basket just a little bit later. I kept thinking about Tyrese Halliburton. It had to be hurting him not being able to play in this game. And on the other end, you needed a stop. Pacers were up 4 at that point. Jalen Brunson basket in the foul.
Yeah, he's able to be crafty and then draw that contact there. But I love when the Pacers put Pascal Siakam in that position. That is a huge shot that he was able to hit there. Josh Hart couldn't do anything better other than get inside of Siakam's jersey on that particular possession.
123-120 after the Siakam jumper. Did miss one of the 2 free throws a little bit later, and so the Knicks would go towards the other end, and Landry Shamet misses, but the putback attempt just before the buzzer, and I had a bad feeling when that whistle was blown, it was going to be just before the clock hit 0. It was.
Yeah, you look at that replay. I mean, it's a couple tenths of a second remaining before Karl-Anthony Towns goes to the free throw line. And I don't care how many free throws you have attempted in your lifetime or how good you are. Those 2 free throws right there are very different free throws, and he's able to knock those down and deliver for the Madison Square Garden.
Easier at home than on the road?
Yeah,
a little bit.
They're not easy in your driveway if the game's on the line.
Quentin Jackson, though, in overtime drives, and the Pacers score the first 9 points of OT. Pascal Siakam moves similar to what we saw towards the end of regulation. Spin move. That is just so tough to stop. And again, looked like the Pacers were going to run away and hide in overtime when Siakam finds Jackson. Pacers up by 9.
Yeah, I think, when that shot goes in, you think it's pretty much all but over.
Fans were leaving.
Well, I'd say about 40% of them were in the parking lot when the comeback was on, and the Knicks made this thing very interesting.
Yeah, and Pascal Siakam, as mentioned, a little maybe disappointed in himself for missing some free throws, but then the Pacers had another chance. Quentin Jackson goes to the free throw line. He makes those free throws, and the Pacers don't even let the Knicks get an attempt to tie.
It's fitting that Quentin Jackson gets an opportunity to go to the line and ice it. He knocks down 2 free throws to put this ball game away. Again, incredibly happy for him being able to stay right in his mind to where he can go out and perform the way he did tonight.
Indiana Members Credit Union with final stats. Did want to bring up one key stat. This game goes to overtime. At halftime, the Knicks had 16 fast break points. That was a reason why they had that 5-point advantage. For the game, they finished with just 19. So the transition defense, they were aware of the need to get back, and they limited some of those opportunities.
Yeah, much better job of getting back, and beyond that, just being able to communicate and match up. Sometimes it just gives you so much better of an opportunity to get stops. Otherwise, if you don't, you got guys running free to the rim and also to the 3-point line.
That was quite a highlight reel for you. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you'll stay with us as we are awaiting post-game comments from Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle. Pacers win by 3 in overtime. Pacers win over the Knicks. Andrew Nembhard, no surprise that he hit some daggers against New York. Play your game with FanDuel. Nembhard goes over to 16.5.
Well, incredibly hot to start this game. I mentioned he's got 9 points in the first quarter, had a couple incredible left-handed passes, and then he gets cooking again in the fourth quarter to lead the charge to be able to come away with this win here.
24 points and 10 assists for Andrew Nembhard. More still to come after the break. Press conference with head coach Rick Carlisle.
Go ahead. Rick, crazy game, 39 lead changes. What did you make of your teams? Just composure through all that, the overtime, everything that happened in this game.
Fantastic.
Is there any
You're going to get a lot of one-word answers tonight.
What? Is there any reason for that?
No. I like to keep things concise as much as I can.
Quentin starting tonight and playing the game he did, 19 points, the big shot in overtime, many things he did very well. What did you think of the way he was able to play with the starters and filling?
As much as I can.
Quentin starting tonight and playing the game he did, 19 points, the big shot in overtime, many things he did very well. What did you think of the way he was able to play with the starters and filling in the role you needed of him today?
Aggressive. No, listen, he's played well all year, and he's been in every different role you can be in. He's been a third stringer. He's been a G leaguer on a two-way. He's been a starter. I mean, it wasn't for him, I don't know if we'd ever won a game at the beginning of the season. You know, I mean, he made two incredible shots against Golden State at home. We kind of came back from the dead in that game to get our first win. And so he's been great.
The overtime, you guys didn't allow that to score, I think, for the first 4 minutes plus a little bit. What defensively was working so well in that stretch to basically put this one away?
Well, I haven't looked at it yet, but our positioning was good. We had some very good help situations. We covered for one another. And then, you know, NBA games are crazy at the end. It's like boom, 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 and all of a sudden, you know, it's a 1-point game. So, but that's okay. You know, we're ready for that. And this was a really important game for us with the season that we've had. You know, this environment, the opponent, just our guys just had a great collective spirit and collective will tonight.
Kobe Brown, you mentioned what you kind of hoped he would go into this game feeling like. What did you think of what he did and how he played in his first game for you guys?
Played great. I mean, he's the biggest plus on the team. You know, he's an interesting player. This is the first time I've really studied him playing. He does a lot of good things. He's a basketball player. He had a couple incredible offensive rebounds. So that's a skill that he brings to the table. You know, he had an outside shot. He made a drive. You know, he's got good feel. And so this is a great opportunity for him coming to us at this particular point in time.
Mike and Aaron both left at some point.
Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle, the master jeweler's defensive gem. No surprise to see Aaron Nesmith on this award. How about the hustle block from Nesmith?
Yeah, you cannot take for granted the work that Nesmith puts into the game on both ends of the floor, always making the little plays, doesn't give up on anything there. He's able to get that block shot there to start the break, get Siakam out in transition. He's able to attack in transition and get that easy too.
Quick thought on what Rick Carlisle said about this being an important game. I know fans watching may look at the record and be thinking about the draft and things like that, but these guys have worked hard all season long, and to come in here and win this game against this team that had won 9 of 10, how much does it mean?
It means a lot. I mean, it's a feel-good win for a variety of reasons, one of which you're thinking about the struggles and trials and tribulations the Pacers have gone throughout the season. But to come in here in this environment, as you mentioned, against a contender and get a very hard-fought win with all of their guys available, you got to feel good about that win and feel good for the Pacers.
Nets tomorrow night, then the All-Star break.
You got an opportunity again, and we will see how this shakes out as you wrap up this road trip.
Yeah, I do not recall too many times Pacers play the Knicks and the Nets in the same road trip, so that means no flight tonight. Be a long drive from our hotel to Barclays Center tomorrow, but again, everyone can sleep in and sleep well after a real fun, hard-fought victory against the New York Knicks. Brunson and the Knicks got a 1-point win over the Pacers in December. The Pacers get a little payback tonight in overtime. 137-134. We'll see you tomorrow night from Brooklyn.